What's up with y'all folks? Come on in, hit the share button. You know what it is, it's Musician Mondays. And it's your boy John Mike. And we're gonna continue in talking about, some different things, as always. Hit that share button, invite some folks in. We're gonna talk about some really cool stuff tonight. I hope you guys had a good President's Day or not my President's Day, depending on how you like to celebrate. All right, so tonight we're going to talk about some really cool stuff. iPad. We've been kind of continuing in this vein of learning about software synths and different software and hardware that I use over the years that have kind of allowed me to, use this kind of stuff in church. And so tonight I want to talk about some iPad apps. I've been talking about the MacBook stuff, Omnisphere, Keyscape, Contact, Alicia Keys Piano. We've talked about a ton of stuff over the course of the last few weeks. And so today I want to deal with the iPad, which is, I think, honestly, truthfully, I believe wholeheartedly that the iPad is the future of software synths. It's the future of where everything's going. Everything's going mobile. Everything's going small. Everything's going compact. And you kind of want to get on board and learn about this stuff, so you don't wake up and be too far behind. I was talking to someone yesterday, and they were saying that, they like to kind of stay current with technology. And the analogy that they used was like, hey, if I'm on the highway and I'm trailing somebody, I'm trying to keep up with somebody on the highway and I'm going 70, and I'm doing the speed limit, but they going way faster than me and they way up like 2 exits ahead of me and I can still see them, you may want to speed up a little bit to try to catch up, because if they get too far down the road, you're going to miss them. And that's what can happen if you don't kind of tie into where everything is moving. Now, I'm not saying that this is 100%. There are some pros, there are some cons to it. So I can't say 100% right now that this is the most, and I do stress, the most viable option for you playing live. It's not. It's, MacBooks are fallible. Hardware is fallible. Anything that you use is going to have points of, that are, pros. They're going to have pros and they're going to have cons. So, but the iPad is pretty much there. I've used my iPad and my iPhone, for that matter, to get through whole gigs, to get through whole services, all using this and certain apps that I use on here or what have you. So I'm going to go through a few of them that I use and that have kind of gotten me through, over the years. So this is one of my favorites right here, because I'm an EP junkie, and it's Neo Soul Keys by Jamal Hardware, gospel musician. This is one of my guys. Jamal is just an amazing sound designer, and he's opened up a whole world for just us church musicians and gospel musicians. This EP is one of my favorite EPs. I actually use it whenever I play EP live. It's just got a lot of weight and a lot of warmth. And that bite. And that's coming from my iPad. And it's got all kind of little effects and things that you can use that make it more interesting. I'm not going to do a tutorial on each one of these apps. I'm just going to kind of show you the apps that I use when I need to kind of get by with using my iPad for church or what have you. So Neo Soul Keys is one of them that I love to use. If you're looking for a good EP, check that app out. The way it works, let me kind of go back in, is there are expansions. So you can basically buy which EP that you want. You know, and I think they're like $6.99 a piece, that kind of thing. You can demo them all for free. I think they time out like after a minute or something like that. I think that's the way it works. But you can buy, and I got the Whirly and the Stage because I just like the way that they sounded. So good, viable app called Neo Soul Keys. Another one, while I'm in the gospel musicians vein, is MKSensation. This is probably my go-to app whenever I use my iPad Live. I use this particular app because it contains all of the bread and butter sounds. Of course, it's the MKS20. It's a good sample, good emulation. Let me get down and get some. That's the piano too. So it's really nice. It gives you those options that you really need, like piano one, layers. You can do layers. I can add a pad layer to kind of fatten it up. And it's just like the PC version if you like the PC version. It's got all of the same sounds that you can work with. You got synth and brass for those fast songs. You know, if you just like the synth, you can go just synth. And it's got that little, you know, when you want to church it and all of that. Really cool. A lot of options. You got everything, even like some of those, you know, if you love those EP. And I'm going, some of you, I know a lot of you may know about this stuff, but I've learned in my business never to take for granted that people actually know about this stuff. I never take that for granted because I get inboxes and emails and YouTube comments and everything from people every day to say, man, I didn't know they had this. So I'm pretty sure, I guarantee that somebody watching this video has not heard of this. So those of you who may be saying, oh man, I know about that. Yeah, I use that. Nah, you just never know who has, who's used this, you know, who knows about this. Everybody doesn't know about this stuff. So I've learned not to take that for granted or to treat people like they're ignorant. You know what I mean? When they know about this. Doc, you know about, Doc, you didn't hurt. No, folks don't know about this stuff. You'd be surprised. But you got, you know, those vintage kind of, you know, take that and put it with a pad and you just got a nice worship bed. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. And you can adjust the volume. So if I want more pad, I can pull the pad up. I mean, you know, you can make it through church service. If all you're doing is playing mains, playing keys, you can get through a church service. And I've gotten through dozens and dozens and dozens of them just using this app by itself with nothing else. It's probably the most comprehensive app for playing keys on the iPad right now, and that is MKSensation. It's free to download. You get a couple of free sounds. I think the piano one and a synth or something like that you get for free. But then you can buy all of the sounds for like $19.99. $20. It's not gonna break the bank. You'll spend $20 at McDonald's. I know I have. Check that one out. Dope app by gospel musicians. Another great one that I use quite a bit of is the Korg Module. This is another favorite app of mine's. Has some really decent sounds in it. Let me kind of pull up. The pianos are okay. They have some expansions that kind of sound a little bit better. But if you like bright tone pianos, kind of tacky sounding pianos, glassy sounding pianos, then this will work for you. I mean, it's okay. It's not my number one choice for piano. They got several different types. The dark grand. This one sounds a little bit better. You know, it's cool. Not my favorite on pianos. The electric pianos, however, sound really good. And I'm an EP junkie, so, you know. I like the EPs. They have different. This one's kind of warm. That's really nice. Kind of warm. You got the trim. And you can make adjustments to your EP. You got your tremolo. You got all of your different, you know, tweaks all right here on the screen. You know what I mean? So if that's too much tremolo, I can turn that down. You know, adjust that on the screen. And the Korg app is really cool. It's got some nice pads and strings and stuff. And the coolest thing you could do is like layer this app, because you can have multiple apps open at once. So for instance, like this warm pad, I can take that. See, that's a nice pad. So I can keep that app open and go over here to MKSensation and open it up and pull up piano 2. You see what I'm saying? So now I got piano from MKSensation and pad from Korg Module. So now I can blend sounds from one app and another. You know what I mean? I do that quite often. So you can take something like, I think the saw pad. Let me see. Not that one. It is saw wave, I think it is. Nah, it was synth stab. That's it. And that's perfect for like your, you know, your praise and worship kind of, you know, or especially for church. What is it? mean, that's nice and big sounding. You know what I mean? I can church with just that. You know what I'm saying? MKSensation and Korg Module built together. A lot of nice combinations like this. Got a lot of really nice synth sounds, pads. A lot of times that's more what I use it for, beyond just piano. I don't really care for the piano sounds. One thing, let me go back to the Korg Module. One thing also dope about the Korg Module, I have a couple of the expansion packs. They have expansion packs that you can get for them. Like I can go over here to where it says store, and they have all of these expansion packs. Like where you can get, like, you know, this is. I thought about getting this earlier when I checked it out. I didn't know they had this in here until I opened it back up earlier. But this is like the they call it the 80s electric piano. Almost has an MKS, you know, EP2 kind of feel to it. And this is just the audio demo. So, you know, it almost has that kind of EP2, EP1 kind of feel to it. And they got some other expansion packs. They got Ivory. I have the Ivory, but it's 2 gigabytes, so I deleted it off of here to save some space. And the pianos are really cool. It's not the best, but it's still really good. You can get through what you need to get through with it. They also have like some of the sounds from the Triton that you can download in here. They have this organ pack as well, and Whirly. I have the Whirly and I have Ivory. Those are the 2 that I have. I haven't checked out any of the other ones, though I'm thinking about snagging this 80s electric piano joint. That's the Korg Module. Really dope app. Another one I use for organ a lot is the Galileo Organ. And I'm just going through the stuff. You know how I do. I like to go through, get all of the stuff that I want to talk about out of the way, and then we look at what you guys are saying in the comments. So the Galileo Organ is a really nice organ. Let me have to step over here so I can kind of see, so I can turn off this reverb. I don't care for the reverb that they have in here. I like it kind of dry. And it's really cool. It's not the best. And if you just need an organ to kind of get through, I think that ring mod is on too. Hold on. I think I saw that. No, it's off. Yeah. I mean, it's not the best sounding organ. It's not VB3. It ain't Logic organ. But if you kind of want to have something just to kind of get through. I'm trying to play around this thing I got my camera on. I mean, you know, it's good for what it is. It's an organ that'll get you by. And so many times I use this and MKSensation, perfect chemistry for a service. If you're just playing mains, you're not running click tracks, you're not running stems, you don't need a whole lot of layers, you don't need 5,000 things, you know what I mean, going on. You can easily get by with this and the MKSensation. Now I can change up my I would probably, because I got my mixer and I'm not gonna fool with it now. But at church I got my little stage mixer. I would probably play with the EQ and all of that a little bit. I would probably play with the EQ and stuff a little bit to kind of adjust the tone and the brilliance and the low end on it, kind of fatten it up a little bit. It's cool, and it's got a lot of tweakability, a lot of tweakable options. Couple that with a volume pedal, and you got a nice kind of organ setup that you can use. Really good organ app for iPad. It's called the Galileo Organ. I think it was like maybe $10. And lastly, stuff that I use live. I cannot go without talking about the Prime app by my company, Gospel Multi-Tracks, Loop Community, all of that good stuff like that. Really dope app. That's basically like Ableton on your iPad. You know what I'm saying? You got different
intro 3, 4, 5, 6.
So I can run my stems and play along with them all on here. I can control the volumes on everything. So if I'm playing keys, I can turn off piano. If I got a drummer, I turn off the drums. If I got a bass player, I turn off bass. And I got the stems that I need. And I can play along with that. You know what I'm saying? I can open up like MKSensation and play along with that. Yeah, and so I just changed this track by accident, triggered a MIDI thing. But anyway, that's the Prime app. It's really dope. Does great things. You guys have seen. We've showed you a lot of stuff with the Prime app. You can, again, I'm not doing this as tutorials on these particular apps, but you can change keys. You can create set lists. Speed it up, slow it down, arrange sections, skip sections, jump sections. It's just a dope app. Check it out. GospelMultitracks.com. So anyway, let's see what you guys are talking about on the question side of things. And let's get some questions and let's see what you guys are talking about over here on this side. What's going on, Shane D. Rayner? Jay Hicks, what's up? Bobby Fisher says, I love this app. Will Prime work with MKSensation? Yes, it does. Sam says, play, whatever, man. Wow, okay, thanks. I can't believe the Korg Module app is $39.99 and expansions are priced differently. Yeah, I think that's the full price. I got it when it was on sale. I got it when it first came out. It was like $20 when it first came out, and I just snagged it. What's the cost of this module? Correction, that's not a big sound. You're just a fat player. Whatever, Nick. Nah, man. Jiren, I'm not sure which app you were talking about. I'm trying to catch up on questions and all of that now. I started using Galileo Organ because of you, but having some issues. Oh, Samuel Sims, you're talking to Sam. Any other sounds? Steve Collins, you're going to have to ask, some of y'all going to have to re-answer those questions if you're still in the room. Praise is what I do sounds. Oh, praise is what I do sound. Hey, it's John Mike. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I'm trying to catch up on questions. Are those the Triton sounds? Yeah, that was from that. It's funny whenever someone hypes the iPad alternative softsynths, they only really show 2 quality electric pianos, a subpar string patch. LOL, these companies gotta do better. Steve, I was thinking about something like that earlier. I was just saying, I was saying to myself, I was listening to some demos from something else, and I was like, why don't they hire gospel musicians to do their demos? Okay, I'm going to show you this. I love Korg. Korg is an amazing company. But this demo that I'm about to show you is absolute crap. And I hate to say that. I love you, Korg. If you want to give me an endorsement, I'll do better. But you need to do better with this demo. If you heard this, you need to. So if I go over here to store, I was checking out this vintage organs pack thing that they got. And so I said, let me check this out. So I press play, and this is what it gives me. Okay, and I was like, what is that? It's like he just said. And I'm like, what is that? That is not how you demo your product. And you want me to buy it? And you... I'm like, what is that? You got to do better. Please, if you want some good demos, call me. I'll do some demos for you. For that organ stuff, if you're watching this video. Sounds good, the one for the organ, but that demo left me like, what in the world was that? So, yeah, I agree with you, Steve Collins. They gotta do better with doing these demos and showing better or whatever. Korg Module, yeah, Korg Module. I already don't use my MacBook Pro. I use this every Sunday, says Chris Steed. I've had issues with Galileo Organ using my Motif 8. My sounds come out at home on my Motif 6, but not at church. It's weird. Give the iPad 5 years and we won't need MacBook Pros anymore. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, so like they said, you know, it's the iPad. The iPad is very, I mean, it's very intuitive, and it's very, 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 very comparable. This is actually one of my go-to. If I have a Sunday where it's not much going on, you know what I mean? I'm not running a bunch of soft synths, or I know the set list or whatever we're doing doesn't call for me to run stems or doesn't call for me to do this or do that. You know what I'm doing? I'm not whipping out my MacBook and setting up all of that and going through all of that. I'm pulling out my iPad. And it literally takes 2 seconds to connect this little cable right here. The camera connection kit is all you need. Plug it up to the USB cable. It powers the keyboard, and you can play from it all right here in this, you know, in this little compact little design. I mean, it almost fits in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? So you can kind of see where everything is going. And every year, and this is an iPad Air, the first generation. This isn't even an iPad Pro. It's not even an iPad Pro. It's not even an iPad Air 2. I don't even have the touch thing on it. It's just a regular iPad Air, and it does what I need for it to do. I can run clicks, stems, and I can play keys and stuff from it. I can get through a church service easy, and I've gotten through dozens of church services just using my iPad. So if I don't have a lot going on, this is what I use on a Sunday basis. If not that, this is my MacBook, and this is also my backup. You know, people talk about the importance of having a backup. What if your MacBook goes down? What if something happens to your computer? Well, this is my backup. And if this goes down, then I got my phone and I got the exact same apps on my phone. So either way, and it'll fire up in literally 2 seconds. I mean, literally, I promise you guys, this is what makes it so much better a lot of times and more convenient than a MacBook or a computer, is because I can literally, let me close out the app. Let me close out everything that I'm using. I can literally, I'm going to unplug this. I can literally just walk into church. I got my keyboard already there. I can literally just walk in, set my computer down, my iPad down, and we'll show you just how fast. Plug this up, plug that up, open up MKSensation, and in 3, 2, 1, and if it doesn't do that, I normally close it and open it right back up. And there we go. And I'm ready to play. I mean, now, rough, that didn't take what? I don't know, that didn't even take a minute. That didn't even take a minute. I don't know, it didn't even take me 30 seconds to walk in, open up my iPad, plug it up, 3, 2, 1. If I brought my computer in, I had to bring my computer in. I got to log in. I got to let it start up. It starts up. Got to enter in my password. Got to get that in there. Then I got to open up Logic. Got to open up MainStage or Ableton. Got to open up all of those apps. I got to wait for them to load. Then I got to open up a channel strip. I got to find Contact. I got to load Contact up. I got to pull it. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes to get in and get started when I got my MacBook. When I got my iPad, it's literally, I promise you, it, as you just seen, it's plug and play. And so every year, the iPads get more and more powerful. The newest iPad Pro has a quad-core processor in it. It's got 4 gigs of RAM. I'm hearing some even more beefier specs that's going to be coming out of the iPad Pro that they're going to be releasing this year. It's going to be insane. So it's kind of like, yo, you see where it's going, and companies are investing into more, into, you know, getting better sounds on the iPad. So in the next few years, I guarantee you in the next couple of years, if not the next year or so, you're going to really start to see some solid, really solid and great sampled piano apps and organ apps and some of the same stuff that we're using on MacBooks and PCs. It's going to start coming to the iPad because it's a portable platform, and it just musicians are just crying for it. The power is almost there. The specs are almost there to be able to run. I mean, the latest iPad has you can get up to a 256 gig, you know, space on it. That's well enough to hold quite a few. You can almost load Omnisphere on there, Keyscape. That's enough space to load both of those on there and still have some room left over. So guarantee you in the next couple of years, you're going to see a uprising of this. And I'm just trying to get ahead of the curve and stay in contact with all of this stuff. So it's really, really good, really, really dope. I always run a lot of musicians into these different apps that you can use. And this is just a few of them. There are literally thousands of apps. There's a lot of stuff, good stuff for synths. There's a lot of good stuff for keybase. There's a lot of good stuff for piano. There's Sample Tank. There's just a ton of apps out there. I mean, it's just going and it's growing. All right, let's see what you guys are talking about. What I'm missing on the comments of stuff. Let's see what I'm missing here. Man, I missed quite a few things. Let's see, dope. Hey, yo, John, what's the name and brand of my lightning converter? It is James Mack. It is just a USB to lightning cable is what it is. Derek Coleman says, your USB plugged directly into my board. Yes, it is plugged directly into this keyboard right here, this Nectar. And it's actually powering the iPad. The iPad is, I mean, not powering the iPad. The iPad is actually powering the keyboard. That's something else I want to touch in. Is also the battery life. On a full charge. Now, I've been doing this stream for what? Almost, I guess, getting close to an hour now. Let me see. Yeah, getting close to an hour. When I started this stream, I had 18% battery. I got 9% now. So you could literally get through praise and worship on less than 10% of battery. You know what I'm saying? And it's powering the keyboard. So, you know what I mean? I've gotten through entire days. I usually, like, when I use my iPad, I use it for 2 services. It's charged at 100%. I've never plug it up to a charger. It stays on just like this, the entire services, all of the services for 2 straight services, basically from like 8 to 12. I get home and I still have 30-40% battery left, even after going through 2 services, using this for clicks, stems, all of that stuff like that. So it's really, really dope, you know, way to kind of do things. Joe Barfield says, any lead sounds for that iPad that you can recommend? Joe Barfield, check out Animoog or Animog, however you say it. Animoog is really good. Has some really good lead sounds and stuff in it. Are the songs already in the apps? Paul Lewis, as far as our Prime app is concerned, the songs aren't in there. You can go to our site, gospelmultitracks.com, and you can download. We've got, gosh, man, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of songs on that site that you can download and use there. You guys must have been laughing about that organ thing. I can't do a better demo, but I totally get what you're saying. Gospel community musicians, one way or another, support these companies. Absolutely. Absolutely. Antron here, what's up with you? Do you know why the Sensation app doesn't work good on an iPad mini? Antron, because it's probably not, if you got a first gen iPad mini, it's probably not powerful enough to handle it. And even this Air, and this is a common mistake that people make. They try to load 5,000 layers. I can come in here and I can use maybe 3 or 4 layers, you know, on this, and not have to worry about heavy CPU. But if I go on here and I try to just use everything, it's you know, you see that? This first chord is cracking. So it's not set up for you to be able to use 12 layers, you know what I'm saying, every time you play. So you have to use and manage it, just like on a MacBook, you have to manage your CPU wisely. So don't make that mistake. You know, use a couple of layers, scale back. You probably want to upgrade your iPad, though, from an iPad mini to like an iPad Air, or at least an iPad Air first generation. I wouldn't do, I had an iPad mini too that worked really great, but the first generation iPad mini was just not powerful enough to handle the stuff. Gary GR says 26.3 seconds to load it up. Loan me your brain for 2 days. Richly bent, you can have it, Reverend. John Anthony Reese says, hey, I have that controller, the 88 key. I want to upgrade to the new one, the LX 88 Plus, but they didn't put the aftertouch on them. What are your views on what are your views on this, man? Why wouldn't they put the aftertouch on there? That I cannot answer. That's probably a logistical thing from them, John. You'd have to email the company and ask them that. I'm actually looking at getting the new 88 Plus myself here in about a week or so. I'm looking to upgrade and get that particular controller as well, because I love the 61, but I want the 88, but you know, because I can have some more room to kind of spread out and play a little bit more. Dr. Marcus Stanley, man, thank you for showing up, man. Amazing musician there. Also, even more amazing Christian. Awesome testimony. You should really follow that brother. He has some amazing videos and amazing knowledge and information that he shares on his page. Please follow him. I follow him. I am a fan of Marcus Stanley. You guys check that guy out. He is amazing, and his testimony is absolutely crazy. You should just go and check him out just for his testimony. Do you like Christ Butler says, do you like the Personas mixer? Love it. I use it every day, all day. What if I was using a motif setup? Derek Coleman, I'm not 100% sure what you're asking on what if you're using a motif. If you're asking if you're using a motif, then you can use this with motif. I've seen a lot of people have problems though with it. I'm not totally sure. I've never owned a motif. I know that's a sin as a gospel musician, but I'm a church musician. I've never owned a motif, so I cannot comment as to how it will work on a motif. Fillmore says, drop a name of a key-based app to check out and use on iPad. There was a great one I had a while back. I think it was called, I cannot think of that one. I really can't think of that. I'm so sorry, Phil. There's a great one, though. If Samuel Sims is on the stream, if you're still on here, Sam, please answer that for me, because you're the one who put me on that one. If not, well, I will find out, Phil, and I will inbox you once I remember the name of it. I don't currently have it on this iPad. I had it on there before, but to conserve space for something that I was trying to do, I deleted it, and I just hadn't put it back on here yet. Garrick says, Fillmore, check out bass. Yeah. Jamal has Bassalicious. That is really dope. You should check that one out. But it's another one that's more like live bass. It's another one that's more like live bass. Sounds like a finger bass that actually sounds really good. I cannot think of the name of it though. Terrence Hightower, great info. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome. EJ Simmons says, I just took my iPad mini. I know, guys, I'm behind on questions. iPad mini 2 out the box. What's the first thing I should download? EJ Simmons, it just depends on what you're trying to do. Again, you can check out these apps that I love to use: MKSensation, the Korg Module, Neo Soul Keys, the Galileo Organ, and really the first app I suggest that you check out is the Loop Community Prime app by Gospel Multitracks. Go on gospelmultitracks.com and download you a bunch of stems so you can be rocking. That's the first app that you need to check out, is the Gospel Multitracks Prime app. It's free. It's in the App Store. Type in Loop Community Prime. Let that be your first app, Reverend. That's the commercial. What else do we have here? Can I have the 61? No. Dimitri, however you say your name, Prince, DP. Go to, type in Loop Community Prime. Loop Community Prime. Loop, like drum loop. Community, like the community of people that you live in. And Prime, just like you spelled it. It's going to look just like that. It's going to look like a Simon Says logo. You know what I mean? It's going to look like that. You cannot have the 61, Paul. Once you get the 88, nope, I'm not giving up the 61. I'm going to use this as my aux board, my auxiliary board. iFretless. That's it. That's it, Brendan. Thank you, Butler. iFretless. That's the bass app I could not think of. iFretless. Yeah, Bassalicious is really good. I got to get that. I had it on here. I got to re-download it. I play bass, so I'll be looking for more synth bass stuff. Yeah, Bassalicious if you're looking for synth bass. Shameless plug. The Bible app. Yeah, okay, download the Bible app, then get the Prime app. Bible, Prime, then you can get everything else. You know, you get Bassalicious and all that good stuff like that, Reverends. Yeah, so those are my apps. Again, this is not a comprehensive list of apps. There are a ton more apps that you can get, but I suggest that you guys check it out. It could be done really simple and actually very cheap. Again, for the last few weeks, we've been talking about softsynths and using software, instruments, and ways that you can kind of economize instead of spending $4,000 on a new motif or a montage or a Korg Kronos or the latest and greatest $2,000 plus keyboard. This right here is really a setup that is much more economical than buying a new keyboard. You can get an iPad used now, an iPad Air or something like this for about $150. The Air or Air 2, you can get these for anywhere from $100 to $200. You can get a good used iPad if you know where to look for them. Look for places like Gazelle, look on eBay, look on Amazon, Craigslist, look at the Facebook Market. Get you an iPad, very cheap, $100 to $200. A controller like this, a 61-key controller like this, would run you somewhere in the neighborhood of $150 to $200. So we say 150 used. Let's say we just go and use with everything. You can get this 150 bucks for this controller, maybe even less. You can get this iPad for another 150 bucks. That's $300 that you spent. And that's really all you need. The camera connection kit is going to set you back about 20 bucks. So that's $320 that you spent. And then you turn around and just get the apps. MKSensation, even if you don't get anything else, you get MKSensation. That's 20 bucks. So that's $340. Then you grab the Galileo Organ for another 10 bucks. You know what I mean? That's 350 bucks that you spent, and you got a decent setup that you can play keys with at church or at a gig or what have you. Because you don't even need an interface. You can just use what I'm using, which is an aux cord, and plug it up. Aux cord will cost you $2, so $352. So then you can take that remaining $50 and go over to gospelmultitracks.com, download the free Prime app, and then you can get $50 worth of tracks to play with. Then you can have a good time, good church, good stuff like that. $400, less than $500. You got a decent iPad, keys, apps, keyboard, and you're good to go for Sunday morning. I'm telling you guys, this is where it's going. This is where it's going. Like somebody I think said in a comment earlier, the next 3 years is going to be iPad focused. You're going to see great apps that even better than the ones that I've showed pop up in the app stores and all of those good stuff like that. It's going to be some great stuff that's just going to pop up, and it's going to be like, yo, it's no use, nothing for me to do but just toss my MacBook, sell it, get an iPad Pro, the top level iPad Pro, and keep rolling. You know what I'm saying? What else we got on questions? I've ran keys and tracks from the iPad quite a few times. Brandon? What I use to MIDI my iPad to the old round MIDI plugs on the like the one on motif. Get a USB to MIDI cable. It has USB on one end. Look up USB to MIDI cable. It has USB on one end, and then it has the two MIDI things on the back of it, on the bottom end of it, and you can plug that into the motif, and then plug this into the camera connection kit, and voila. Got your camera connection kit for $8. There you go, Rev. Does the iPad sound better than the MacBook Pro in some instances? I won't really say that. I'll just say, it's just different purposes. It just depends on what because of course, none of these sounds are going to compare to like Keyscape. Even the mobile version of MKSensation doesn't sound as good as the version that you buy for Contact. And the real Neo Soul Keys app, not app, but plug-in sounds better than this version. But it's one of those things. It's about convenience. The average ear is not going to notice. Just like you probably say, this sounds good, and it does. But I was just trying to, it sounds good. In just a simple situation, simple gig, say it's a wedding, a funeral, a simple church service, this will get you by. This will work, and it'll sound good. And I'm not saying get you by like, you can get by with it. No, it'll get you by, and it'll sound good. And people will be like, yo, you use your iPad? I've had people come up to me after church and be like, man, you was rocking today. All that came from your iPad? Yep. All that came from your phone? Yep. I'll tell this story, and then I'm going to answer a couple more questions, and I'm going to get out of here. I was talking to a guy a few years ago, and we was having this conversation. And he was big in the hardware, where still is big in the hardware. And everywhere he would go, he'd bring racks. I'm talking racks for days. MKSensation, not MKSensation, MKS20, JV this, ES this, the motif rack, the Trident rack. He's got all of this stuff. Just racks after racks. And he's got 2 keyboards. And he bring that stuff in for a choir day. I'm talking Doc, Reverends. He would bring that in for an A and B selection on choir day. He rolling in 2 big tiers with racks in them, ready to go. He's an older guy. I'm not gonna, put his business out there. But anyway, older guy, and he's just stuck on the hardware. He's like, yo, and I was trying to convince him on switching to MacBook. I'm like, everything that you're doing can be done really easy using a MacBook and creating virtual. They got samples of pretty much all of these racks that you got out here. All these sounds, all these things can be accomplished easily using the MacBook and a few set of sounds. And he's like, nah, man, hardware is king, and hardware ain't going nowhere. And yeah, he's arguing me up and down. And so I was like, okay. And so I left him with this kind of statement to kind of close it all down. I told him this. I said, look, the way technology is moving, there's going to come a day, and the day is just, this was a few years ago. This was like maybe 2 years ago when I told him this. And it didn't even take a year for it really to come to pass, because Jamal came out with MKSensation and all that kind of stuff. But I was like, it's going to come a day where a 16-year-old boy is going to come into it. You're going to be getting to a service an hour before service to set up all of your stuff and all of your equipment for the gig or whatever. And you're going to be there 2 hours or 45 minutes trying to set all your stuff up. And a 16-year-old boy is going to walk by you, step over all of your cords and your cables and your racks and all of that stuff. He's going to step all past, excuse me. All he's going to have in his hand is a MIDI controller and his iPhone. And he's going to set it on a stand. He's going to plug it up to an amplifier or to a sound system. And he is going to kill running layers and sounds and everything that you're doing. And he's going to be running clicks and stems all from his iPhone. And you're going to be sitting there with all of your stuff like, how in the world is this little kid killing with this iPhone? And the day is now here. You can literally do that now with an iPhone. All you need is your iPhone and a couple of apps, a camera connection kit, and a MIDI controller. And you can do all of that stuff that took 15 pieces of hardware to do can be now accomplished with 1, 2, 3, 4, and a few apps. And you ready to go. So take that in the heart. Keep that in your mind. Think about that as you're starting to think about where you want to go and what you want to do next and what you want to learn about next in your music ministries and everything that you do to enhance what you do. Start looking at technology. That's the whole reason I'm doing Musician Mondays. This is truly, because I could be doing so much more with my time, guys. Trust me. I can be doing 10,000 more things right now with my time than sitting on here sharing information and knowledge. I could be doing so much more. I got 3 businesses that I'm running. I got 6 kids at home right now. I got a wife. I got a lot going on. I got 2 churches I'm playing for. I do not have to share anything with you guys. But that's not my heart. My heart is truly a labor of love. And I have a heart and a passion to increase the knowledge of the community of people in which I serve in. And we are all church musicians, and we're all trying to learn how to, and I know there's a lot of non-church musicians. I'm not just talking about targeting church music, but that is my passion in my area is church musicians, because I'm a church musician. That's who I am. But there are quite a few people that want to learn this stuff, and nobody's sitting out there to teach them. Nobody's sitting there to tell them what's what and how to do this and how to do that and how this works. But the scope of technology and music is changing literally on a day-to-day basis. So take your time, start researching, start learning this stuff. Check out my websites, dynamicsmusic.net, creatingstems.com, gospelmultitracks.com. Check out the sites. I got tons of my YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Facebook videos. I try my best. That is what I do. I mean, God has blessed me to put me in a position and giving me a platform and giving me the opportunity to be able to share knowledge at this level, and I don't take it for granted, and I'm going to use every disposable piece of time that I have to pour back into the community, to pour back into people, because I found out, and I found it to be true. I did believe it. I used to hear people say stuff like this, but did not believe it. But now I found it to be true. If you take your time and you give to people and you pour into people and you give of yourself and you don't be selfish and you give of yourself, your knowledge, your wisdom, your money, your time, none of it is wasted. God will take those things and he will bless you. He will honor that. He will bless you tremendously for those things. So for the information that I'm giving out, please take a little bit of time, just a second of your time, reach down there in the corner, right over there, and hit the share button. Say something positive. Hey, check this guy out. He's sharing some information. He's trying to help you. He's trying to bless you. Support him. Yada, yada, yada. That would really be success. Be helpful and would really bless me. Let me look at a few more questions, make sure I didn't miss anything major, and then I want to get out of here. No, I don't think I did. I'm low-key advertising. That's funny. Dimitri Prince. I hope I said Demetari Prince. DP. I'm gonna start calling you DP when I see you on the stream. Audio Pro is really good. Cubasis, I've heard great things about that. That I've actually thought about doing a series on Brandon on recording like stems or something like that on an iPad, just showing the whole process. That hey, if I have an iPad, this is what I would do. Yep, Arthur, you're late. I'm finna get off, so appreciate it. Please, guys, take the time and hit the share button. This really helps me get this stuff out here. I want to touch as many people as possible. And I mean that without pretense, without contention. I don't want anything from you. I don't want your money. I don't want anything. If you choose to bless me, please do. I can always use a blessing. Anybody can use a blessing. But I don't want your money. I don't want your likes. I do want your shares. Likes are good, but shares are even better. That's really all I really like, because the shares help me reach other people. Because even though you may have made it to a place and you got all the information and you know all about this stuff and you missed the master on everything, there's some people that probably follow you or look up to you or connected to you that don't know about this kind of stuff, and they're wanting to know. And you may not have the time or the passion or the grace, and that's fine, to teach this kind of stuff and explain it, because not everybody has the grace to teach and explain. I was telling somebody earlier, I feel unproductive if a day goes by and I didn't teach somebody something. You know what I mean? I feel very unproductive if I didn't teach anybody something, if I didn't spend time teaching something. I just feel it's not. I could go a day and not produce anything. I can go a day and not play on the keyboard. I can go a day and not do this and not play at church. I can go a Sunday and not play. I can go a week and not play, you know. But I feel very dry, very unproductive, very unpurposeful if I didn't teach somebody something on a day. So, again, if you're on Facebook, you're watching this, hit the share button. Bless your boy with your shares. I really appreciate that kind of stuff. If you're on watching this on YouTube, because I'm about to upload this to my YouTube channel, feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. All right? Appreciate you guys as always. Hit the share button. and I'm out.